Okay, are we live? Do I have everything set? What's going on, guys? It is Coop88, also known as Steve, and welcome back in general. Everybody's probably like, Steve, where have you been? What happened to you? Why was your face not on the back of a milk carton box? Relax, guys. I'm fine. I just hadn't been able to get to stream and or do a video or any of that stuff. I'm fine. Nothing happened, at least that I know of. I just had to take a couple of days to myself, and I know that that seems bad, but you know, when you're somebody that deals with a lot of depressionary issues, sometimes, yeah, you get in your own way. But you know what? That's okay. That's fine, because some of us that deal with depression and anxiety issues, that's okay. There's nothing to say. I am in the way of my fan. There we go. I probably shouldn't point that at my PS4. I'm pointing my small window fan at my PS4 to keep it from overheating, which will probably end up tearing the thing up more. But I wanted to point it away from me because I realized the fan was kind of probably in the way of the mic. But yeah, guys, I'm back again with the 6th episode of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. So let me get into this because everybody's like, Steve, just play the game. Okay, damn, y'all need to calm down.
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room.
Lord Brigham Brackenstall. Sir Warthen Brackenstall.
But yeah, guys, I've took some time to myself. It's not that I...
Baron Lyndon Brackenstall.
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room.
It's not, guys, that I don't... What's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm just walking around here trying to gather my thoughts and do this at the same time. But I'm good, guys. I'm fine. I dealt with a lot of issues.
Lord George Brackenstall.
There we go.
The Brackenstall family seems rather austere.
So yeah, guys, I had to take a couple of days to myself, you know, had some stuff come up that I didn't know how to deal with. But I'm fine now. I think I just needed a recharge. Not only because it's so humid and hot out. Like, it's like 94 or so down here with probably a humidity that makes it feel like 90, 98 or 100. It's just bleh. But also, guys, I just felt like I would stream on today, especially Sunday, since, you know, my mother tends to go to church on Sundays, like most people. So, while she's away, I get to stream free, and she doesn't get to be annoyed by me being loud and obnoxious. Not that I want to do so anyway, because remember, apartment, I have neighbors.
Ladies, allow me to
hang on.
introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one.
I'll get
Was
back
there
to my
anything
thoughts in a moment,
specific
guys.
that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw 2 others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were 3, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these 3 villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
Your ladyship?
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
Okay. So let me give you guys a quick recap. We are in Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment doing the Abbey Grange affair, which a baron and or aristocrat has been murdered. So we just talked to Lady Brackenstall, who...
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
So Lady Brackenstall is basically... hang on.
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame. This is Sir Eustace.
Sir Eustace's...
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her... So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
So yeah, we're trying to figure out who murdered this aristocrat. Oh, well, wrong one. So anyway, guys, yeah, we're going through this, and we're going to try to figure out what is going on here with Sir Eustace's death, but so far, Lady Brackenstall's story does not stick with me, and I doubt her maids will either. But anyway, to finish my thought, guys, and then we'll get to the gameplay. I know some of y'all are like, Steve, just shut up and play the game. We don't care. But I kind of care enough to just like let those who actually do care about me and care about the content, you know, to not be affected by it. You know, yeah, I took a small break for myself. You know, I figured I'd stream a lot later. have time to myself, you know, obviously neighbors and everything in the apartment, but even then, I just kind of needed to sort a lot of the issues, and it's going to be ongoing, guys. This is going to be ongoing, where I may stream one day, I may stream another day. It's going to be erratic. I warned that in the last video or so, that yeah, it's going to just be erratic doing this. You know, but I'm okay. My mind's in a much better position. And I figured I'd stream this back, as well as one or two other games and stuff today, if possible. So, and just to let you guys know, I'm looking into possibly doing Twitch to try to see if I can make a little bit of extra side cash. So that's, I'll update you guys on if I'm able to do the whole Twitch thing. But that's a possibility in the future. But anyway, let's get back to the game here. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, you got Lady Brackenstall, you got... Now let's go talk to Teresa here.
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
Yeah, I'm kind of sporadic and all over the place, guys, so sorry about that, but at the same time, not really sorry.
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know. My mistress is very tired. Can't you allow her to her room?
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship?
Oh, what a horror.
My mistress is...
Let us try to open this safe. This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention.
There we go. So now let's see what's inside this safe.
Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care. It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
Oh, what a horrible thing to... Oh, what a horrible...
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behavior.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead. But a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
This I'll tell you, the PS4 headset, like, really, especially since it's like a small earpiece, it's like it just, just kind of feels like it's either all the way in your ear, or if you get that tingly feeling like you got something crawling in your ear, it's... Okay, so...
My mistress is...
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
Go talk to Lestrade here.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal. The body is still in the dining room where...
We're putting pieces together here.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
In the words of Ace Ventura, this is a lovely room of death.
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries. You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
A decanter standing next to the open bottle. Chateau Calon-Ségur. There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen. An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents. This bottle of wine is missing here. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware. The hunting scene. A deer hunt. This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
How do you know? Well, I was going to say, how do you know, Sherlock, but...
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me. A fur trader's cabin. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon. Barefoot, he had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress. That must be the murder weapon. It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation. The head was cracked with the force of the blow.
The death was instant.
A fur trader's cabin. Antique hunting weapons. A hunting scene. A hunter's cabin.
Go out here and do a little bit of exploring. See, this is like beautiful and rustic to me, guys. Like, it's just calming. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing with the Sherlock Holmes games that I really love with Frogware and a lot of the other, like, companies that have done games, is they always try to capture the best parts of Holmes, but I like Frogwares because, you know, they really set the atmosphere of late 1800s to early 1900s England very well. And there's like a ghastly murder, but you have like these beautiful, like, backdrops like this, or ominous backdrops. Like, I love how they create atmosphere in these games. Oh, there's Lestrade.
Have you found any interesting clues yet, Mr. Holmes?
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
Please leave my Mary alone. She's suffered so much, she deserves some rest. Please leave my Mary alone.
Have you found any interesting clues yet, Mr. Holmes?
This house feels rather sinister. I can't say that I like it here.
It appeared.
This case is a simple one, isn't it, Holmes?
Wait a minute. They said she was bound by a... There we go. I knew I was missing something.
Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me. This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to.
The death was instant.
Now let's go get Toby. Time to go get Toby from Baker Street.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case. Search, Toby.
Yeah, we get to play as Toby now. Sorry, I'm using the one hand to guide Toby and the other, multitasking. I'm quick answering a text from a friend and playing this game at the same time. I know, aren't I skilled?
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
I'll be done in a second, guys. I know I'm moving slowly.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it. The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route. The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty. Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved. This hook might be useful. Bags of seed.
Sorry guys, I know it's interfering with the game. I keep telling people not to text me while I'm playing.
There's something glittering. Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence. The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware. We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Huh. Okay, so what do we got left?
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
Please leave my Mary alone.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place. Or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Back to Baker Street 2. Let's analyze the rope, shall we?
The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to... The fibers from this cut appear... If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys, but people finally were like, oh, sorry, Steve. It's like, good, thanks, guys. Holy crap. There we go.
Here it is.
So now we're getting a better sense of
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Hang on just a second. Ah, there we go. Sorry about that. I accidentally skipped over one dialogue thing, and I also...
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
accidentally...
And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th. I do not think that this sailor had... I do not think... This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Sorry guys, I accidentally skipped the thing, but basically Holmes was just telling Wiggins he'll give him a half a guinea if he...
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Trying to narrow down who...
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why. You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her, from when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You? And what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
I'm just trying to make sure I get everything out in the open. This is the real truth, actually. Well, I don't agree with the fact that, I don't agree with domestic violence. I'm very much against domestic violence. And I try to be a very calm, controlled man about this. Sir Eustace had a history of violence, was an ill-tempered man, and the way I see it, Captain Crocker was going to visit with Lady Brackenstall. He came in, was going to try to beat the man, probably was hitting him with a large stick, and no doubt, to defend himself against the stick, Captain Crocker grabbed the fire poker and happened to hit Sir Eustace in the head full on with probably the metal bit, and it cracked his skull open. But I would claim that that is more in self-defense. After the fact, though, they did cover it up with her being tied up in sailor's knots. And I imagine Captain Crocker did that to keep her from stopping him. I mean, there's a lot of variables, but I'm going to go with absolving Captain Crocker just because I feel that even though his motives weren't justified, I'm more likely to believe that he was trying to defend himself from Sir Eustace more than murdering him for the benefit of getting Lady Brackenstall's hand.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear, and it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
No, you don't.
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I wished only to test your sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox Dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
So that is the Abbey Grange affair, and we might have a little bit of time to start a new case. So you've got the Fate of Black Peter, Riddle on the Rails, Bloodbath, the Abbey Grange affair, and we have 2 more cases, so let's start the Kew Gardens drama. And this is probably going to be the longest and most tedious and puzzle-skipping case out of all of them.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
Do you have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, how ever did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
So we condemned Carnes, we did condemn Carnes, but that was because he blatantly murdered Black Peter. Political game because it didn't want to cause an international incident. Blinkhorn purposely murdered this guy. Now, most of you are going to say, well, why didn't you condemn Captain Crocker? Like I said, I detest domestic violence, but I believe Captain Crocker stopped Sir Eustace Brackenstall, and he purposely made it look like he tied Mary Brackenstall up with sailor's knots. I believe that they did this to cover the murder, so neither one of them could be taken. So, that is my theory.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favour for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The 2 of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house?
Holmes?
Yes, just here. near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
Okay. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to stop this episode right here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Sherlock Holmes. So, we have a murder mystery and a plant theft to try to solve in the next episode. Things are about to get very interesting, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys in the next one. And I will, by the next video or so, or maybe on my main Sly Cooper 88 channel, I will let you guys know if I will be, how the Twitch stuff works out. So, take care, guys.